I'm very excited to be able to introduce two people. One most of you know, which is my partner, Clark. Clark, if you want to activate your video, Clark has been hanging out in Tokyo, and so on a different time zone. And then we've already got Charles here. Charles is the founder of Galxe that then became Gravity as well. So he'll explain the distinction between the two, I'm sure. We were very, very lucky through Clark's introductions to be very early investors in Galxe, and it's been a tremendous ride already, but I know there's a lot more still to come. So I'm going to turn off my video and leave it to Clark to handle the final armchair chat of today with Charles talking about Galxe and Gravity.
Thank you, Matthew. So actually, I think this is a very interesting way to wrap up our panels today. Charles and I have known each other for a long time, and I have to say, the ride that we've been on with Galxe, which has started as Project Galxe, has been tremendous. They have been to this date still one of the fastest growing companies that we've seen in Web3. The way in which they were able to adapt to different market conditions, different I think trending topics in Web3, and be able to garner a very, very sizable audience and user base for their own product is very, very impressive. And of course, I'll have Charles talk more about it himself. And Charles, I think you can start by sort of telling us a bit about what Galxe is and what Gravity is.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the invite. Very glad to be here. My name is Charles Wayn. I'm the co-founder of Galxe. Also, we in August last year, we introduced our layer 1 blockchain called Gravity. So I will start with the story of Galxe. As Clark mentioned, the original name of Galxe was called Project Galxe. It was founded in 2021 March. We started as a platform, simply want to utilize NFT as a solution for businesses, for projects to launch their own loyalty program, right? That was the original idea when we pitched all of our seed round investors. And then quickly you realize, you don't just build a solution, but the edge or the long-term competitive advantage for this particular project is the data itself, right? So how do you verify? How do you know if a customer is a loyal customer, and then you decide to give the user an NFT as a reward, as a recognition? So that was the very first version of Galxe and how we get started. We were fortunate to have our one or two clients that willing to work with us when we were very small. So they use Galxe, build a program. For example, I want my customer to use my platform to swap, to be active in Discord, to be active on Twitter. So I put them together, publish as a quest. And then my audience, my community members can come to interact with me on the quest page. After you complete all the quest, you will then be able to claim the NFT as a status for you to, it's a recognition of your status in the community. The tool quickly became we quickly found out another interesting use case from our clients, which is they use this as a great way to select their early adopters for their future airdrop, right? So the problem at that time in 2021, during the entire crypto space was before you launch a token, there's nothing they can do to really or there's no solution in the market that help them build the engagement, build the growth in the community. So Galxe become the only solution in the space, and our target users are um, community managers, marketing managers. So they run this kind of program on Galxe for their company, and quickly they can see the result quickly, which is users very interested. I want to be able to uh, to to be part of your community before you launch your token. So that was the entire demand in the market, and we quickly realize this market is growing very, very quickly because um, in the past 3 years we've witnessed so many new crypto projects being created, and then um, every time when there is a project launch its own token, the token they allocate some airdrop allocation to the users, and which means to the users who has interaction with them on Galxe. So that has been proven in the past 4 years in the entire crypto space, a very uh, crypto native way to build your community. Uh, so yeah, that's the story of Galxe.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you, Charles. I remember in 2021 when the project just started. Yeah, every few days or every couple of weeks we reconnect with each other about where the project was. Um, we were just amazed by the progress you were having. It went from, oh yeah, we were partnering with this 10 companies that were trying to do quests on Project Galxe to, oh, we just onboarded 100, and quickly it was a few hundred. So I think as soon as you identified that the need was there, you were really able to utilize all the connections that you and Harry have built over the years, in your previous ventures, to really quickly onboard all the companies onto Project Galxe, which quickly turned into a much bigger story. I think the fact that it went from a questing platform to a suite of tools that what has become today, Galaxy Passport, you have the Compass, and you now also have your AI co-pilot that helps the more sort of bigger user base to navigate in the complex world of Web3. It really is impressive, sort of how the need of creating new product suites were driven just by what you were hearing from the users.
Yeah, so I think the story here is ever since we launched the Quest platform, we started to build a user base that's fast growing, and they keep looking for new things to do. They are very excited about new projects launched in the space. So and then we've been thinking, we're talking about about 800K to 1.2 million daily active users. We've been thinking, what else can we do, right, um, to um, to build something that can help this large user base. Meanwhile, we have the B2B part, which we have around 7,000 companies currently using Galxe. So there are two different angles. We see our business model is more like B2B2C. So you have this, we built this tool, a suite of tools to help projects grow their user base, and also to end users, it's a way for them to. Uh, People say there are only three things in the crypto, right? Currently, one is trading, one is airdrop, one is maybe DeFi related to manage your assets. Um, but which indeed, you see in the past 3 4 years, those are the ones drives or capturing the most value. So um, we realized, what else can we do for our users? So we introduced a feature called Galxe Smart Savings. So that feature was primarily designed for um, for users to better use Galxe. Galxe has integrated 70 different blockchains. Um, there's too many layer ones and layer twos, and if for users to use different blockchains for different applications, they will need to have the gas token on different blockchains to get started. And that's the biggest problem. If we can have a solution to solve this problem, then we can confidently say we're bringing users from from Ethereum to Linea or to other network, right? But without this, uh, it's just an additional barrier for users. So smart savings was introduced to solve this problem first. So the idea was simple. Users just need to top up, can use any tokens. I can use ETH on Ethereum. I can use BNB on BNB chain to top up my smart savings. And then that smart savings can become a paymaster, which covers your gas fee on any blockchain within Galxe. So that's how it works. It really provides a lot of convenience for users. They don't need to, they can do their request, but they just need to, for claiming anything on Galxe on different networks, they don't need to have gas fee on that network. So that's how we started that feature. But quickly you realize, why not we turn that into a yield bearing product, right? So the users, they have funds here. Why not we just integrate it with some existing DeFi protocols and offer some you know stable yields to users. So we upgraded this. We integrated with another DeFi protocol, and then this feature is currently is one of the most transacted feature on Galxe, simply because everybody needs to have this feature. It's like Alipay, but in Taobao, right? You can use it to pay for any gas fee on any chain. But meanwhile, you're also earning yield on the assets you deposit. So that's one feature we introduced. Currently, that feature has about $14 million worth of TVL. The interesting part is there's no big whales using this, because whales know how to use DeFi well. But the target audience for this feature is mainly for individual retail users, airdrop farmers, who are really just getting started, or has been passionate individuals active in the crypto space. So the TVL is not our goal to build this feature, but it's more about introducing this idea, the concept of abstracting everything to optimize their experience on Galxe, to minimize the friction. So that's just one example we built for this audience, for the user base we have. We also, as you mentioned, we introduced a feature called Earn Drop. So Galxe Earndrop is a feature we introduced to help users to have projects to distribute their airdrop. So we've been covering their pre-airdrop community building, right? They launch their quest, they build their community, later they distribute airdrop to users. But now we also handling airdrop distribution for our clients. So the idea is simple, users, they do all the quests with you, but when clients, they are planning their TGE, they're planning to do their airdrop, we provide all the functionalities. So they don't need to build the smart contract, they don't need to build the claiming page. As long as they set up the rules directly from the dashboard with us, we can customize a page for them. So we handle this token distribution. Users trust Galxe for claiming anything, so they link all of their accounts. In fact, speaking of accounts, we have about over 100 million wallet addresses connected, ever connected.
Which is crazy. I mean, every time we talk to each other, this number just keep going up.
Yes.
By now, I think everyone I've talked to have used one part of your product or another. So pretty much everyone in Web3, be it you know, the projects themselves, you know, the company, the founders, to retail users, it seems like everyone's interacting with your product in one way or another.
Right. So it's a yeah, it helps because I think that's the network effect we built over the past 3 or 4 years, is that not just the account system, right? But also people connected their Twitter account, Discord account, GitHub account, blockchain account on different networks, different blockchains, into one Galaxy account system. And that really helps make everything easier, because imagine if you're building your own Quest page, you would need to build all of this integration all together. And then building this may not be too hard, but users, they are being smarter and smarter. They're very cautious about everything they connect, right? Can I trust this website to authorize my Twitter account? What if they post anything? You use some of the permissions I don't want to have. So and
Exactly. I
speaking
mean, yeah, we're all scared of the possibility of clicking on one link and everything you own and everything on your computer just goes away.
right, right. Um, so speaking of this, we have about 16 million Twitter accounts linked to their Galaxy ID, and then we have around 8 million Discord accounts. So that makes a lot of things easier. Users trust this place to claim different things, and so that's why we introduced this earn drop. We have a lot of projects. They're launching their tokens soon. They're using earn drop to handle their airdrop distribution completely. Say if they're distributing 10% of their total supply to users, then yeah, we handle the claiming page. We handle the actual distribution. That also includes KYC, AML, geofencing, or any features you want to put for claimers. So that's the earn drop feature. The Alva product you mentioned is also an idea come from Quest itself. Users, whenever they participate in a quest, if it's some very difficult quest, they want to know more information about Galaxy, right? That's important. About this particular project. So I don't want to spend my time, on a project that I don't know. So we want to be able to provide users with additional information so they can do better research, help them to do better research. And then, that's and the target audience is exactly the users of Quest, because they don't have access to expensive, institutional research insights subscriptions. What if there's a way, utilizing AI to make this more accessible to everyone? So that's why we introduced Alva. Alva has Alva is basically a crypto copilot. It can help you do research on any particular projects, tokens. It can help you, uh, provides you data like sentiment, or how is the sentiment, or uh, what's the trend for the token price, and also can help you stimulate your trade strategy. If you tell Alva, okay, I want to buy this token at this price, um, they can backtest based on the historical data for you and run a model for you. But that's more like an advanced feature. Most users don't need this, but pro traders need this. So we also have for Alva, we also have, for example, extension that can help you install in your browser everywhere you go, give you quick instant insights about particular crypto project or token. That for that one, the um, I think it's growing pretty organically. Um, unlike a lot of AI agent tokens, they have tokens, but they don't actually have the agent itself. Which we find it very interesting. In the future, I think there will be a lot of synergy between Alpha and the Galxe product itself. So
Well, it's kind of like having a butler that navigate you,
right,
within this big Galaxy house. You have so many
right.
rooms. You need a butler to tell you where to go, and when you need something, they'll just come and grab it. So I think the way that you were just describing how the different products within your ecosystem have come to life, and the way that the thought process of how you guys came up with the product is demonstrating exactly why you guys have as many users as you have, right? Everything was built for a purpose. Everything was built because someone or usually a lot of people in your ecosystem need a product such as this, and then you start building it, right? And
Right.
especially like with a company like you guys that have so many products, what would you say that in say one or two sentence describe a big problem that you're solving?
I would say we're bridging the gap between users who are interested in joining crypto and what actually you can do. It's a whole new world for you to explore, and you go to Galaxy, you can see everything. Right? That's the idea. From finding different interesting projects, from different DeFi opportunities, from uh, really package all the experience into, we call it, for Galaxy itself, we call it super app that um, is can be your go-to place for crypto, for all things crypto.
So the one-stop shop of Web3.
Yeah, you can say that, but I think everybody use this as a slogan. So maybe it's not that sexy, but to really define what Galaxy is building, that's pretty much a pretty accurate description.
Great. Well, so the other day I was reading this Masari report on Galaxy, and I think they refer to um, sort of this parallel between um, the traditional Web2 companies like Google and Apple having coverage of pretty much over 90% of all logins through their profile system, right? And
Right.
Galaxy being this giant in Web3 that is facilitating a lot of logging in. And sort of this interconnectivity between different portals and protocols, etc. So how is the blockchain technology uniquely solving this, helping you solve this problem? Like, would you be able to build the same type of um, I guess product suite to solve this problem in a Web2 way? Or is it only really possible to be solved in a Web3 way?
I think um, the way we look at this is um, in the Web 2 with the token itself. Web3 projects primarily um, unlock more possibilities, and that covers every area, different stage of their growth. And the best part of Web3 is that you can really use a token to build a decentralized ownership. And by building that ownership, you're giving back to the community. So in Web 2, this model doesn't exist. So um, that's why I see Galaxy is very unique to crypto businesses. We're still exploring if we can have our solution applied to if we can have our solution applied to some Web 2 business. In fact, we talked to a lot of some traditional businesses to see if they're willing to bring their loyalty program on chain. But then you really want to go back to the original question, the goal. Why do they need a loyalty program? They essentially need a loyalty program or building something like this to drive sales, right? To drive more sales. And does making your point system on chain can help solve this? Maybe not. Maybe that can help with data aggregation. It can, make the data more reliable. You use blockchain as a ledger to note, to record everything, all the off-chain activities. But you don't have to. If you use a centralized system that's reliable enough, that can probably perform better than Web3 solution. So then people also talk about the interoperability, the possibility of bringing points on chain. So you can exchange your points from this businesses like a token swap to another point. You can do that. But what's the benefit for the businesses to allow their points be traded on be traded to other points? Because essentially they are the issuer of that token. If everyone get that token from me, why I want to allow this to get it from other places? So maybe so I think there's still a debate, but when you really talk to real world businesses, this solution doesn't apply to them yet. So, but for crypto projects, for projects with tokens, we see this is a perfect way, because if they're crypto native, they're blockchain native, this unlocks an entirely new, possibility and opportunities for their community. Imagine if, some people tell me when they buy Trump token, they are looking at they're looking at the stock of Trump organizations or Trump their public company. Their market cap was $7 billion. So a lot of people traded against that price for the Trump meme coin. They think that's the cap. But then you realize, that makes for the Trump token, it went up to what, $40 billion or $50 billion total market cap, right? Which is crazy. So I think really, for projects with tokens, for businesses with tokens, bring their users on chain, building their community on chain, using a Web3 native way, utilize your token as an incentive to build a program. That really unlock a lot of new possibilities because the participants of this market are completely different. In the traditional market, the participants are mainly institutions, but here is everyone from every country, no boundary. I think that's the best part.
Right. So it's more of a raw sort of experience navigating Web3 with the really like you said, there's no barrier for entry. Anyone could participate. You could have anyone from any country that may have zero experience in trading that could come into Web3 day one and participate in any activity that they want to. Whereas
Right.
in traditional market, it's more institutional driven. It's more I guess it's more stable, just given sort of how this is how things work, right? And now in Web3, everyone's exploring how this market would would stay and how it would evolve in the next who knows, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah, uh, that to your point, I think um, um, people are building things. I think there's a trend. We all see a trend right now in the market that, especially started from last year. You see a lot of real applications um, building in the crypto native way, which is really good, right? I think a lot of infra overall, infrastructure narratives are um, at a different stage right now because we have enough infrastructure. Real world applications are coming to on-chain, which is very exciting for the entire space. Um, People who build, for example, Alva, it's software, it's a product you can actually use. And then imagine if product like this or product like uh, like like PayPal launching their own token. That's a completely different new way um, to 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 transform how we see how regular users interact with the product. If the token can be used to incentivize or really decentralize the ownership. You are my customer, you're also my shareholder or token holder, right?
right. No, I
I
mean,
think
I think the interesting thing about the integration of Alva, this AI Copilot is that there's not a lot of thing that you can borrow from Web3. I mean from Web2, the traditional giants where uh I think in early Web3 days, entrepreneurs have um the luxury of really borrowing a lot of ideas and try to iterate on traditional Web 2 ideas and make them decentralized and try to make them better and safer and more transparent um, and be able to reach more users with
Mm.
little barrier for entry. But with something as new as integration of AI into a vast ecosystem, you really don't have a lot of places that you can borrow experience from, right?
Mm.
The uh, you, it really at this point is the AI pilot can be whoever the user want it to be. It could be your mentor, right? If you're new to Web3, it could be your advisor if you're an experienced trader
Right.
or an experienced Web3 airdrop farmer, right? So I think this is a really bold move that you're tackling this problem with uh, a product that really is hard to find people that have done it before. Um, and
Yeah.
um, so I think, Galaxy, we've spent a lot of time on Galaxy and the suite of products and why and how it came to be. Uh, Tell us more about Gravity. Why did you decide to start your own layer one blockchain? What are the problems that you want to solve with your layer one that cannot be solved by layer ones that already exist?
So I think there has been a thesis in the market about app chain, first of all, right? People think applications can all have their own chain. Why do they use public blockchains like Ethereum? What's the benefit of using it? We've been thinking about this idea. We've been thinking about how do we uh, how do we maximize and you really as a project with token already um, token holders or token how do we get token holders more involved And then most of the projects in the space, you see a misalignment here, is that your users is your users, and your token holders is your token holders. They're not same group. So from this perspective, people talk about app chain, applications with a lot of users, they should launch their own blockchain. The ideas was very simple. We are driving a lot of transactions. We want to have the ultra fast experience. We want to have the ultra cheap gas fees. And nowadays, there's so many infrastructures or service providers that can make building your own chain very easy. So I think that was the idea we had in mind for many years. But then really, when we talk about this, when we talk about building a blockchain, if you're just building a blockchain for your own app, like a lot of projects did it recently, I think there can be a totally different approach. So the approach can be, why not just leveraging your existing community to build a blockchain, and then drive more apps, drive more developers come to your blockchain to build. And we still have Galxe as the largest super app for this blockchain, constantly fueling the growth of Gravity. So that was the motion behind it. That was the motivation behind it. And also you realize when we talk about Galxe itself, it has already integrated 70 different blockchains. Is there a solution that we build another infrastructure that can let you interact on this blockchain only, but interconnected with all the other blockchains? But you don't need to. You don't need to know they exist. So the first thing we did was we launched Gravity. We want to test it out first if we can build a blockchain that can sustain, that's the experience is good enough to sustain Galxe's user base. That's important, right?
Right.
So if Galxe can use it, I think most of the applications with users can really use it. So we start with the layer 2. It's a Arbitrum Nitro stack Ethereum rollup layer 2. So we call it Gravity Alpha Mainnet, and we started to move a lot of product logic online. So that includes points. Every point issued on Galxe is an on-chain loyalty point tokenized as an ERC20 token on Gravity. But still, it's not functioning as a regular token because it's on, project can decide if they want to allow these points to be tradable or not. If they don't want it to be transferable, then you cannot transfer that points. But data is not on chain. That's important, right? Today, if I want to airdrop to users who hold, 1,000 points from Babylon space, I can easily do that because all the data is on chain. So that's the first thing we did, and all the claiming points transactions are on-chain transactions as well. So we're experimenting it. We subsidize the gas fee for the first month, and then we turn off the subsidization. We turn off the subsidy. It still works perfectly. So now Gravity itself is driving around 1 million to 1.2 million transactions a day. That makes Gravity itself is like number 4 or number 5 most active blockchains, most active layer 2s. So that's how we're doing it right now. And then we started Gravity as an idea of we really want to build our own ultra fast and ultra cheap blockchain that all the applications can use for different types of applications, even like perp DEX, decentralized exchanges with centralized experience. Currently, it's just not possible because because there's no blockchain can sustain that. So um, so we've been building Gravity Layer 1 in the parallel when we already have uh, Gravity Alpha Mainnet launched with all the product live there. We're building the user base, so when Gravity Layer 1 is ready, we'll migrate users over. That's the idea. And there's still a lot of restrictions on the current Layer 1 because it's a Ethereum rollup. So the asset bridged over takes about 10 minutes organically, right? And then when you bridge the asset back to the Ethereum mainnet, it takes 7 days. That's on most of the Ethereum rollup. But if you go with the ZK rollup, that probably that experience is different, but also the transaction speed, the transaction cost is also different. So it's just no perfect solution running as a layer 2. Some people also talk about layer 3, as another layer on top of base or on top of something else. So that was that's the thinking behind all of this. Um, that's why we acquired a team of experts who has been building a database, who've been working on a database project. We acquired the entire team, and then we've been working on the Gravity Layer 1 for over a year. Um, I think the best part of building your own layer 1 right now is there's something it's very established. You can just it's open source, you can use it directly. And then we can also tailor it. We can customize the parameters to what fits the best. And really we call it, ultra fast parallel EVM, but at layer 1. And most importantly, the gas token is not the gas token is the G token itself. So
Right.
that's aligned with the app itself, and also the infrastructure. And with this narrative, we're also, pitching different developers to invite them to come to build on Gravity. Um, our advantage is not just provide you with the infrastructure, with you the grant, but also we can provide them with the community we have, the solution we have, to really help them bring the growth to the next level. I think that's the idea of Gravity. But I think things are moving to the very good direction right now. We're expecting to see. We already launched the DevNet. On the DevNet, we're benchmarking about 14,000 TPS transaction per second, and I think if you talk about the fastest blockchain in the space right now, uh, when Gravity Layer 1 is ready, Gravity can definitely be one of the top 3 in the space.
Right. I mean, for you, unlike a lot of new protocols starting out, they when they build their uh layer 1 or layer 2 solution, they have to think about, oh, can my protocol at some point handle 20-30 million users interacting with it on a daily basis. They think about it hypothetically, but for you guys, you have to think about, oh, can it handle it as soon as I push it out, right? Because as soon as it go live, all of your users, or at least a significant part of your user base, is going to want to try interacting well, actually, when you push it out, then you flip the switch, everything has to go on chain, right? Like you said, a lot of points are now being issued on chain,
Yeah,
even though they can choose whether or not they want to make it tradable. It's
right.
on the public ledger, is on the public ledger. So the challenges that you guys are facing is, as soon as it comes out of the laboratory, it has to withstand the test of numbers.
Right. So yeah, I think we build our own. We build Gravity from completely different approach, right? So with we know what we need, which part needs to be optimized, and what's, from a super app perspective, what's really need from require from the infrastructure level. How can we support different apps to run on the blockchain at the same time
Mm.
with the best experience?
So, with everything that you've built, the product suite, and with massive amount of users, and then your own layer one. Let's say I'm a new entrepreneur, and I want to start a project in Web3. It sounds like I could just reach out to you and say, "Hey, I have this awesome idea, and I have raised $1 million, and I want to um, sort of go through this entire pre-launch phase with your help." um, it sounds like it's very doable. I could just plug my project into your ecosystem, and you have existing users that could, with a click of a button, choose to onboard into my product. Um, and I could collaborate with you and create a questing experience, and make it fun for the users to be able to earn potential airdrops. And as soon as I launch, I could use your product suite to manage my user base. And it sounds like through your protocol, I can also get connected to 70 blockchains.
Right, so that's the idea. That's the ultimate experience we want to achieve. Um, it's it's a we we have built. We also leveraging restaking projects like Babylon or Eigenlayer uh, for we built the oracle that check the state on other blockchains. So um, yeah, we not just we don't just want to provide a blockchain for you to use here. The things we want to offer to everybody who come to the space is a suite of everything, uh, more than just a tool, more than just the tooling, but also you have all the resources you need, bridges, oracles, um, that helps you that's designed for for cross-chain experience or yeah, cross-chain experience. And yeah, if you talk about you want to if you want to build something like um, if you need help with your community building pre-launch stage, we can also help. And in fact, our approach to all the developers come to us is we want to work closely with every project. Um, you can you can have you come to Gravity not just have the access of this one of the fastest blockchain, but also uh, the resource that we have everything we can to help you build an amazing on-chain application. That's the idea.
Right. I think I am right now. I think we've covered a lot of topics, and I'm looking at the Q&A. I think with the remaining minutes that we have, I think you're able to look at the Q&As yourselves as well, right?
Right, I
Uh,
can see.
we actually have covered some of the questions through our conversation. Uh, maybe we can cover some questions specifically, and maybe with each question we could spend, maybe a minute or two on them. For
Right.
example, I really like this question, how will Web3 loyalty look in 5 to 10 years? And I think we might be able to even combine this question with another one. How long until airline points and things like that come on chain? Right. So, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the benefit that can bring to existing businesses, the benefit of being on chain, right? What's the benefit to them, realistically speaking? If they enable, for example, I think people talk when people talk about on-chain loyalty points or tokenized loyalty points, the best part, the best part to imagine here is, you know, uh, you can unlock the DeFi possibilities here, which, you know, a lot of some people also ask, you know, what's the some people have different view, mixed opinions about real world asset RWAs, right, being on chain. If you're talking about they're here for the liquidity, I disagree, right? Because the liquidity in the traditional markets is huge. But if you're talking about if those assets, if you tokenize the real estate, if you're tokenized the yacht, be on chain, and be used as a collateral, and you can borrow money against it, that's beautiful, right? That's really good, because DeFi it's about really decentralized, making the the participants of DeFi it's everyone. It's not just institutions. I think that also applies to the loyalty points. Is that I think a lot of companies working on it. I actually know a lot of companies are working on this. Um, but just realistically speaking, why do airlines want to enable this? Well, maybe they can benefit from trading fees. Is that some type of revenue they're interested?
Well, I mean, I sort of want to tackle this from a different angle and see what you think. I think that the way that disruptions work in tech is that when your product gets so good to the point where users simply are not going to accept traditional ways of doing business, right? Maybe at some point users are so used to owning uh, and seeing fair ways of launching loyalty points or loyalty programs in general
Mm,
that they simply will not accept a opaque way of managing a loyalty program where like credit card companies, for example, they would issue points and you've worked so hard, spending so much money, accumulating
right,
so many points, and all
right.
of a sudden you see they have a policy change and you have just been diluted 300% of your
Right.
points. Basically, your points now worth only a third of what they were able to exchange, for airline tickets or hotel stays. Even just the day before, the companies unilaterally decided to say that, well, your points are not worth that much anymore. So
Mhm.
maybe users are just not going to accept that anymore.
Yes, I think yeah, there may be maybe at maybe 20 years later, 10 years later, or maybe even 5 years later, you see majority of the customers, their customers care more about this than um the points itself. I mean, care more about uh um how I
Is like the
is
fairness and
the yeah, the
the
fairness, yeah, and everything.
transparency itself than say, oh, I'm getting 10% more reward working with company A versus company B, but rather the
Not
transparency itself
yeah.
matters even more.
Yeah, I think this is also an interesting angle, but but the points system itself is designed uh, in general, right? The point system itself is designed by those companies, the issuer of the points.
Right.
They want to, at least for now, you see the majority company, they want to make their own rules. Um, and this is an additional incentive I offer to you. I don't expect you to see this um, as uh, yeah, I can make this reward system more appealing. I can make it more rewarded, but it's not about. Um, I think fundamentally the decision is on business, um,
On the business, I
on the
see.
business side. Yeah, if they want to, if they create this maybe they still have they're still the issuer, they are still the uh, uh, rule maker for their own point system, but they can enable some of it, or
Right.
some of the users have this access to DeFi, so you can borrow against your points, right? That's the best
Right.
part. Um,
And maybe this is our opportunity as consumers to strike back with your
right,
help.
right, right.
You know,
Right.
where the
We
web
imagine
chaos
there can be lending protocol for points. There can be derivatives, uh, you know, uh, derivative products for points, OTC points markets. Um, yeah, I mean, there is a demand in the consumer side.
right.
We all understand. I want to trade my United points to Singapore airline points, but it's so restricted. Uh, you just no easy way to do it. You probably transfer to American Express, and from American Express, you redeem it to Singapore airline points. It takes a hundred steps, but essentially it's doing the same thing. Why not just making this easier? So I think, yeah, we probably will see some experiment. I would say it's not like impossible to happen, but we'll see some experiment, and we'll see how this goes. But this will be, if this can really go on chain, fully on chain, that unlocks really a lot of possibilities. Uh, you
I
know,
think,
points
yeah,
become the points is essentially the currency of those businesses, and you're able to use that as a real assets beyond just without beyond the that particular ecosystem, which is really fascinating for consumers.
right. And I think with the power of the network effect that you have achieved to a great extent, uh, maybe through your products and your ecosystem, we're able to fundamentally change how loyalty programs work in the
Right.
world, not just in Web3. So I'm really
Yes.
excited to see how things will go in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think every step of the way we can reconvene and maybe hop on to another panel and see where things are.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think there can be a lot of things to discuss for that topic, particularly. But yeah,
Yeah, thank
thanks
you
for
so much.
hosting. This is a really good opportunity to talk to you guys again.
It's always great catching up. And back to you, Matthew.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Clark. That was a very deep dialogue. And for those of you who had been tracking Galaxy and Gravity, I hope you learned a lot. It is one of the foremost new blockchains. And as you heard those metrics, Charles believes he's on path to be the world's third fastest or top three fastest, I think he said, layer twos, which would be quite remarkable. So our fingers are crossed and we hope you get there.